Hello Chaplain Corps, I'm Chaplain Scott Faust, and I am here with our brand new Deputy Chief of Chaplains, Chaplain Brigadier General Randy Kitchens. We just wrapped up recording for our second annual Air Force Birthday Worship Service. So we're here at the Washington National Cathedral, and we thought we'd take just a couple of minutes to get to know our new Deputy Chief of Chaplains, Chaplain Kitchens. So, Chaplain Kitchens, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Macon, Georgia. That's where I was born. That's where I grew up, spent all of my time, graduated from college at Mercer University there. And so growing up, I went to a small high school in Macon. My parents, my dad was a bivocational pastor, and so I grew up in a family that taught love and care to one another. And my dad taught me a lot about work ethic. He always worked very hard, and he instilled that within me. And graduated high school, and I went to college, and that's where I met my wife. And I really had a hometown and a home that I grew up with, so very different than what military families experience each day.
Got it. Now you alluded to your marriage. Tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, I met my wife Sherry at Mercer University, and we just celebrated anniversary again. And it's been an incredible journey. So my wife Sherry, and then we have a son, Ryan, who is married and lives just outside of Tampa, Florida, with his wife and two of our grandchildren, our grandson and granddaughter. Then our daughter Kara, who lives in Central Florida with her husband Desmond and our granddaughter. So have 3 grandchildren, and I have 2 children and 2 children in loves.
Understood. Okay. You've been married how long?
39 years.
Congratulations.
It's been a long time, but it seems like we can remember it. It was yesterday that we got married. Yeah. An incredible journey.
I was tuned into your promotion ceremony, and you talked about your experience with cancer. Do you mind talking a little bit more about that?
I'd be glad to do that. December was a year ago. I was diagnosed early detection of prostate cancer and had many options. And in talking with the doctor and doing research, my dad had prostate cancer, so I had actually been testing and actively monitoring that to ensure that if I was diagnosed with cancer, that I would be prepared for that. So in doing so, I went forward with surgery, and the pathology report showed that there was no cancer. So I really, as the doctor said to me, "Chaplain, the Lord's healed you." And that was a turning point in my life, because you recognize your mortality, that you could die. And really, I feel as though God's given me another chance and another opportunity. And I often ask, why me? Why not someone else? But instead, there was a choice for me to receive this news. And so with that, I'm willing and very honored to serve in whatever capacity the Air Force, the Chaplain Corps, and the Lord wants me to.
Understood. So here you are now, our Deputy Chief of Chaplains. All those years ago, you became a chaplain. What brought that about?
That's a great question. There were many people along the way who planted a seed, said, "Have you ever thought about the military? You'd be a great chaplain." But it was when I was pastoring a church in Key West, Florida, right after college. My wife and I were there, and we met a lot of young Navy couples that were there, and they were talking about the struggles and the challenges in the Navy. And so I said, "Well, don't you have a chaplain?" They said, "Well, we don't know who the chaplain is," but they became affiliated with our church, which that happens many times. People try to find that comfort zone. And so in the ministry to those young Navy couples, I felt a calling to military ministry and to military chaplaincy, so I wasn't sure how to do that. So I was talking with my mother-in-law, who worked as a civilian in the Air Force, and she wrote Randolph Air Force Base to the Air Force Personnel Center to find out how I could become a chaplain. And I followed that path. They wrote back. I did what they said. I contacted an ecclesiastical endorser, and here I am today.
Got it. We're glad you're here.
Well, I'm excited about being here.
Last question. What's your favorite thing about being an airman?
My favorite thing about being an airman is serving my country. There's a sense of patriotism and of public service that I'm not sure exactly where it came from, but it welled up within me early in ministry in wanting to serve others, but also wanting to serve my country and to be a public servant in doing that. And I love representing our Air Force. I love being that connection to the community, and I love telling our story.
Great. Well, I'm Chaplain Scott Faust, and this has been a session of getting to know you with Chaplain Brigadier General Randy Kitchens. Thank you, sir.